Revenue per visitor was down even more at 8.5% decrease with a 94% sat sig. And then engagement was actually opposite. So we did see an increase in clicks to the featured products feed by about 9.5%, but that lift in engagement, didn't translate and correlate to down funnel metrics of conversion rate and revenue per visitor.
Welcome to another episode of Guess the Test by Elevar, where you learn the data behind a conversion optimization experiment, the variance competing, and of course, the winning version and learning lessons. If you aren't familiar with Elevar, we help Shopify brands clean up their tracking and ensure 95% of conversions are delivered to their most critical marketing channels like Facebook and Google Analytics. So let's get into today's episode and guess the test. All right, we're back for another episode. I'm here with Elevar's lead CRO strategist, Kirby. I'm excited. I don't know what you got planned for me today, but what is the experiment that we will be breaking down? Tell me all about it.
Hey, Brad. Yeah, so today we're looking at a homepage test. So in this case, it's just a simple reorder of a couple sections on the homepage. So the control leads with a title, subtitle, video, and then the next section is like a featured products feed. So then in this case, the variant, we still have the title, subtitle, and then we're reordering the featured product feed and the video. So we're bumping the feed above the video.
Okay. Yeah. And that's all mobile, desktop, everything?
Yep. All devices, all homepage visitors were enrolled in this test. Yep.
Okay. And primary and secondary KPIs?
Yeah, so primary KPI, since it is a top of funnel test, we were looking at click-through rate, so just engagement with specifically the product feed. So looking at users who are clicking through to a product page, and then looking at overall just conversion metrics, so revenue per visitor and conversion rate.
Okay, cool. This is an interesting one. Why? What's the data? Why are we running this experiment?
Yeah, so looking at the event data that we had that was set up through the Elevar Chrome extension, we found that sessions with featured product event had a conversion rate that was just over about 3.5% higher than sessions with the video play. So the theory was if we just do a simple reorder and put that featured products higher on the page, potentially it'll fall above the fold and just lead to an increase in engagement, which, like we said, based on the event data, we saw that was correlated with an increase in conversion rate.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Video, similar to a previous show that we went through, and we're looking at a video hero image and the performance of that. I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind. All right, so show me the variance.
Yeah, so here we have the control. So you can see, again, just the structure here. We have kind of the title, subtitle, the video, and then below that we have the featured product feed. And then the variant here, we still lead with the title, subtitle, and then that's where we make the change. So we bump the featured product feed up above the video. So here you can see side by side, again, just doing a simple reorder test. That was the only change here from the control to the variant. So using the data that you had previously and looking at the data points that we have with the event data, what's your gut? What do you think?
I feel like this is another softball. So we know that the conversion rate for people who click through the product instead of the video, they perform better. That segment performs better. It was a 3.5% increase. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I know from a previous show that a static image outperformed a video, call to action, and the hero. So I'm going to go with the variant on this one. The variant outperformed the control. And if we look at the click-through rate of just looking at the clicks through the product reel and revenue per visitor, I'm guessing it's probably not a big improvement for the variant. Let's say 1 to 3% increase in click-through rate and maybe a similar 1 to 3% improvement in RPV. That's my hypothesis.
Cool. All
How'd I
right.
do?
Well, that's why we test. So in this case, the control actually did better. So yeah, conversion rate, we saw just over a 5% decrease in conversion rate with an 83% probability. Revenue per visitor was down even more at 8.5% decrease with a 94% sat sig. And then engagement was actually opposite. So we did see an increase in clicks to the featured products feed by about 9.5%, but that lift in engagement, didn't translate and correlate to down funnel metrics of conversion rate and revenue per visitor.
All right. That's a loss. That's a
Yep.
loss in the old guess. Okay. So that's a little bit, that is very interesting because those two data points, and it goes back to taking one brand and the learning lessons from them doesn't always apply to another. So that's one thing that stands out to me is it's not just a, hey, did it work on this site and it's automatically going to work on my site.
Yep.
And then the second is, I'm curious to get your thoughts. So is it the video is acting more as a brand reinforcement, so actually selling the user on the brand, so giving them a confidence versus the alternative, which would be just driving them right into a product and maybe they don't have that brand recognition or brand confidence yet? Is that what one of your takeaways?
Yeah, that was kind of our theory is, potentially that reorder takes away from, kind of the brand building or the storytelling of the homepage. It's
Yeah.
maybe a little too salesy initially. So that could be why we saw, kind of that increase in engagement, but maybe those users that were engaging with the featured product feed in the variant, they weren't as educated or as qualified as those in the control. So that
Yeah.
was kind of the theory that we had as well is, maybe leading with that video, while it's not necessarily a conversion driver, it does a great job of educating the user on the brand and the
Yeah.
product and leads to more qualified click-throughs.
Yeah. So the other thing I was thinking through this is it's also natural if you think about a homepage where historically you got tons of content just stacked on top of each other. And it's usually looking at each block in a silo of click-through rate, conversion rate, click-through rate, conversion rate. And then you get to one that is like, oh, low click-through rate, but high conversion rate. Let's move that one to the top. That's not necessarily how it works. So there is part of that storytelling and cohesion between different elements and walking and telling a story to the user. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Another easy test to set up, right? You can just drag and drop.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And for this one, just kind of like additional learnings or insights that we had. This client specifically drives a lot of traffic to landing pages. So we're going to kind of take this learning and the structure of the homepage and potentially apply it to some of the landing pages that they drive, 20 to 30% of their traffic to. So,
Yeah. Awesome.
yeah,
Is that it? Anything else?
that's all I got. Yep.
All right. That's a wrap.
Yep. We'll see you next time.